His name was Geralt of Rivia. He was a witcher, a professional monster slayer. An unusual contract to lift the curse that held a monarch's daughter. It was enough to spend the night with the princess, dusk till dawn. If only she were not a deadly beast, a striga. The traitor responsible for the curse became the bait. Though gravely wounded, the Witcher lifted the curse and gained fame. The world changed with the coming of the Great War, the time of the sword and axe, the time of disdain. Geralt of Rivia disappeared, all but forgotten. But that's another story.
Alright, hello everyone and welcome to our first ever Witcher Wednesday Let's Play event. This is KPX Valkyrie and I will be your guide for this game. So you may have noticed in the opening there that this game was released in 2007, so the graphics stand up to the test of time. They're not great, they're not awful. The voice acting is not great, but not totally awful. So overall, I think the game is pretty good for what it is. It was probably pretty cutting edge for its time. If you're new to the franchise, I hope you enjoy exploring the world of The Witcher with me. For those who played 2 or 3 or are familiar with the franchise, maybe through the books or other means, you will probably notice that the combat in this game is different from the combat in The Witcher 2 or 3. In fact, they pretty much overhauled the game for The Witcher 2 and 3. But I still feel that the combat is very unique. You'll see it in action here shortly. But it's kind of an auto-attack combo system, similar to MMO combat. Personally, I really like it because it's something that I'm fairly familiar with. Anyway, this will be the 4th time that I have tried to film this, and I'm gonna go ahead and skip all of the text, like the tutorial text, because like I said, this is the 4th time I filmed this. The game has been crashing on me. I think I have solved the issue by turning off autosaves, which brings me to another thing. We are going to play on intermediate since I cannot use autosaves, and I'm gonna have to remember to save constantly as it is myself. So let's jump in here and see what the world of The Witcher has to offer.
The northern kingdoms nursed their wounds for 5 years after the Great War. Plague and famine raged, the death toll unknown. A few surviving elven and dwarven units sought refuge amidst forests, where they prepared for a final, desperate fight. Abominable beasts ruled backwoods, highways, and former battlefields alike. In cities and villages, folk were left wondering what had happened to the Witchers. The Blue Mountains in the north of Kedwen, the year 1270, 5 years after the Great War.
Everything's all right. I've no idea where you've been. The important thing is you're alive and among friends. Though you look like you just left your grave.
I remember nothing.
We'll speak soon enough. We're nearing Kaer Morhen. We're home. Leo, get Triss.
Your time nears its end, witches. Enjoy things while you can.
Wrong! You missed the parry!
I keep repeating this. Pirouette always followed by a back cross parry. Always.
Barely 2 days have passed since they found you.
I owe my recovery to you. Thank you, Triss.
Remember anything?
Not much. Look below. I know the moves. Pirouette, parry, cut. I can't explain it, but I feel a bond when we speak. I know you were important.
Geralt, we...
I need to think.
Time flows slowly at Kaer Morhen.
Ha! It worked! Not bad. Take a rest. What do you think, Geralt? Is he ready for the path?
Wait for the rest. He's alone. The Professor promised 50 orens for every freak we kill.
He's mine!
Vesemir, we got company. I'm shutting the gate. Geralt, grab a sword off the training forms.
Okay, so we finally get to jump into combat here. You actually you don't seem to take any damage at all during the tutorial, so I'm just gonna watch how the others fight here.
Stop right there.
The combat animations are actually pretty decent for you know, a game of this old. I mean, I guess 2007 isn't too old, but it's definitely a lot different from modern gaming. This guy...
How do you feel?
Fine.
Anyone know who the intruders are?
Ordinary bandits would never attack Kaer Morhen.
That we know, Marigold. You could try some of your famous magic.
In due time, Lambert.
Enough! We need to check the other possible passages to the upper courtyard.
the old guy, as I was saying, with the long ponytail and the white hair, he actually does a neat little flippy thing when he fights with his sword. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh man, I want to do a flippy thing, but it does not seem that Geralt learns to do a flippy thing.
What's happening? They're trying to break down the gate!
They won't get anywhere without a battering ram.
Shit! What is that? A Frightener. One mean beast.
Savola. I know him. A mage as ambitious as he is insane.
They're coming up here. Get ready! There's more! They're entering the upper courtyard!
The one in glasses is the professor. Murder for hire. I sense magic. There's a sorcerer among them.
Professor, you know the way. Get to it.
The professor is wanted in Redania, Temeria, and Kedwen. A real maggot. I don't recognize the sorcerer.
Marigold, I'm interested in whether you can disarm Savola. The rest is witch's work.
I'll try.
They're coming.
The Frightener is very dangerous, but it's vulnerable to loud noises.
The bell's in the upper courtyard.
Exactly. Eskel, Lambert, you'll help me stop the Frightener and the bandits. Leo, stay behind us. Geralt, you open the gate to the upper courtyard. When we're there, Triss can stop Savola and his pet while we prepare to deal with the Professor and the unknown mage.
I'll figure something out.
Let's do this. Lead them a bit down here before withdrawing. Geralt, follow the wall and break through to the tower where there's a passage to the upper courtyard.
Alone?
They're just bandits, though one might be infamous. You must open the gate. We'll be waiting. Good luck, Wolf.
I actually kind of like how Geralt sounds concerned there, like, alone? Really? Are you sure about that? Okay, so to combo in this game, you click and your character will begin the first auto attack. When the sword icon turns red, you click again to chain attacks. It takes a bit of concentration. The timing can be a little rough to get a handle on, especially as you earn new combat stances, which won't be long now. We'll be getting our next combat stance. Alright, we got some nice finishers there. Some of these finishers actually continue throughout the series, even into Game 2 and 3. Since his combat animations are actually based on real sword fighting techniques.
Mess with me and die.
Okay, so it seems if you chain 3 attacks perfectly on these trash mobs, you could call them, you automatically get a stun at the end of the 3rd one, and your 4th attack will be followed up with a nice finisher. Okay. Alright, okay. So, we just got our fast animation, which we use on our fast combat stance, which we use on smaller, faster enemies, lighter enemies, and you'll notice that the combat animations are actually different for all of the stances, which is really cool. I personally enjoy the group combat stance, but that's just me. Alright. We got his head rolling off into the distance there.
Mess with me and die.
Alright, so one of the other interesting things about the combat in this game is that if pressing Z, X, and C is too much for you to focus on during combat, you can actually press the spacebar to pause the game and change combat stances by clicking on them. Sometimes I will accidentally pause the game because I'm used to games where you press the spacebar to jump, specifically, you know, a lot of newer MMOs and so on.
No way through here. Follow me. Back to Savola.
Alright. I'm almost tempted to see if we can just run past these enemies, but they're not too bad to take down, so I guess we'll go ahead and kill them. Doesn't seem like finishing strikes are as easy to land on the lighter opponents.
You'll be sorry.
Okay, apparently archers don't require any specific stance. You can attack them with whichever you prefer, fast, strong, whichever one you're in, really. You actually, if you try to hit a heavy opponent with the fast stance, you'll miss. They'll like 100% perfect dodge it. And if you try to hit a fast enemy with the strong stance, likewise, they will just, it won't do anything.
Damn it, Geralt. It's a miracle you're alive.
You could have told me about the stairs.
Lambert and Eskel were supposed to fix them yesterday.
We're not masons.
No matter. The professor and the other mage must be hiding in the keep.
Face the truth, Witchers. They're here to rob you.
Triss, child, we have nothing of value. Some good steel snow fox pelts.
I mean the laboratory and you know it. Someone wants your famed mutagens.
You're jumping to conclusions.
Triss may be right. We need to find out what they want.
One thing at a time. We shouldn't turn our backs on a strong mage leading a frightener.
And you can't let the bandits in the lab.
Right as usual, Triss. Geralt, you've dealt with mages. Find out what this one wants. Leo will guide you.
Just reconnaissance, or...?
No one will be sorry if some of them lose their heads. You'll manage, Wolf. Just remember Leo's with you.
I can handle this.
We'll see what's happening inside and be back.
Take these potions just in case. Drink the Thunderbolt now and keep Swallow for when you need healing. I'll be able to tell you how they work. We'll make sure no one else gets inside. Triss, stay with us in case Savola has any new ideas.
Okay. So you actually can't continue if you don't drink this potion, even though you don't need it. As I said, you don't take any damage during this until you reach your first boss fight. Alright.
Let's go inside.
So there's Leo. We're on our way inside.
I've heard all of Dandelion's ballads about you. Lambert tells me I'll never be as fast as a real Witcher. But I managed to hit him during training today.
You beat Lambert?
Yeah, we were fencing on the floor pegs when that strange storm came. Lambert looked away, I did a pirouette, hit him right in the gut. He didn't fall, and then he beat me.
You'll make a good swordsman yet.
I know. Every time Lambert beats me, he says I have potential.
Alright. So, you can also dodge. As I said, you don't take any damage, so you don't have to dodge. I don't bother with it. At least I'm not planning to right now. I will have to later since we don't have autosaves on. But it seems to be crashing my game, so don't really have much choice. I find it interesting that old guy is not like, Geralt, you've dealt with mages before, you should go on ahead, and Geralt seems to have lost his memory from the events in, I'm assuming, the last book till right now. So I'm not sure what good, you know, having been up against mages in the past that you can't remember does him, but who knows, maybe it's like riding a bike, it'll just come back to him. Either way, the first boss fight is not especially challenging, even though you actually do take damage. Alright. This is one thing I don't miss.
These stairs lead to the lab.
Follow me.
Games with zones all the time.
The energy you annexed from the Circle of Elements is enough to stop the Witchers?
You tremble, yet you complain Savola would have them all, leaving none for you. Did the sight of a single Witcher, White Wolf himself, instill fear?
The aforementioned, considered dead I might add, is a gnome killer. I'll gladly challenge him.
Leo, stand back. Come on, Professor.
Time is essential. I wield the power of the Circle of Elements. They are no threat. Back to work. I want the mutagens ready for teleportation in 15 minutes. Our witches shan't trouble us.
We're cut off! The stairs are blocked!
The magic barrier looks solid. We need Triss.
They're robbing us! Geralt, clear the passage upstairs. Use a sign!
A sign?
The Ard. I can't do it since I broke my fingers training along the gauntlet. Cast the Ard at the debris.
I don't remember the signs.
Let's go to the Circle of Elements, a source of the power. You need to try and learn the Ard.
Alright.
Alright, so now we get our first sign, which is essentially our magic. I'm also not really used to games where you have to left-click.
Success?
We'll see in a minute.
I knew it would work.
Let's get back before Lambert kills the Frightener himself.
Alright. So, we got our sign here, now we can clear the passageway. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm not really used to games where you have to left-click to interact. I'm used to games where you right-click to interact.
Cast the Ard at the rubble blocking the stairs.
Okay. So you actually do right-click to use magic.
What did you learn?
The bandits are in the lab, searching for something. The mage used the Circle of Elements to create a magic barrier.
The plague! You're all children. Why didn't you mention the Circle?
Triss, child. It didn't seem important.
If the mage aligned with the Circle, he can create a stable portal through which he'll travel to anywhere on the continent, taking your equipment with him.
All right, we made a mistake, but you said the mage was harmless.
I said I didn't know him. I think we should protect the lab above all.
Don't panic, Marigold. We know you'd like to see our witch's secrets.
Vesemir, if that idiot doesn't shut it, I'll...
Enough! Lambert, stop baiting Triss. Show her some respect. Triss, if we go to the lab, they'll have us surrounded. We know tactics.
Maybe we should split up.
Geralt's right. We need to protect the lab and kill the Frightener. Who goes where?
Only I can break the barrier. I'm going inside.
Vesemir,
I'll stay and handle the Frightener and Savola. What about you, Geralt? We may both need your help.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and help
The lab
Triss
is
out.
important. I'm going with Triss.
Me too.
It's decided then. Eskel and Lambert will stay with me.
Savola just cast a spell. Something's happening.
The ground is shaking. Feel it?
They're breaking through.
Watch out!
Quickly, defend the laboratory!
Okay, so we just made our first choice here.
This could be a hard fight, Geralt. Take this potion. Witchers call it the Tawny Owl. It restores endurance. Very useful when fighting mages.
Thanks. Let's go.
Alright, so I'm not sure if we actually need this, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. They might not even let me continue if I don't.
You'll go no further, White One. I'll summon a powerful demon that will tear you apart.
A bluff. He's exhausted from teleportation. Magic light is about all he can muster.
Go. We'll deal with him and join you at the barrier.
Underestimating an opponent. Now the energy of my people will make me stronger.
There's really not much going on in this boss fight. I'm taking damage, I'm not sure why. I'm guessing he's attacking. But it's not going to take too much to get him. Wow, that's an interesting place to die there. Alright. So let's not drag this out any longer than we need to. Spoke too soon. Oh my. I really don't remember him teleporting this much the first time I faced him. I may actually have to use a healing potion. The one the old guy gave me, the swallow. Alright. So apparently the Tawny Owl restores endurance. I'm not really sure what it's restoring. Alright, finally.
Are you hurt? Did he get you?
Nah. But if those were magic lights, I'd hate to face a truly powerful sorcerer.
I wanted to help, but I couldn't break through that strange circle.
Savola's eating dirt. That's what matters.
We need to help Triss.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go and help Triss.
They're ransacking the laboratory. The other mage is... I underestimated him. Hurry.
Alright. So this is around where my game continually disconnected me before.
found it. We have what we came for. Professor, deal with those witches.
I hear witches can parry bolts in flight. Let's see.
Leo, stop!
Another fairy tale.
What happened?
Smashed ribs, punctured lung. He's dying.
He needs White Rafford's decoction. Hang on, Leo. It was here. I can't find it.
Vesemir. Leo is dead.
How did this happen?
He attacked the professor. I was late.
It's not your fault, Geralt. We're all to blame. Triss barely made it fighting for us. These are bad times for witchers, and something tells me they'll only get worse.
Is it safe up top?
Relatively. Some stragglers up there, but we'll deal with them later. You look tired. I'd like you to rest. I'll keep watch and tend to Leo's body.
Okay, so now we get to meditate. Just gonna go ahead and do it from there. So, later in the game, meditation becomes important. There are enemies that may only spawn at certain times of the day, and meditation becomes the quick way to wait in the spawn area for them. Okay.
Mosses and grasses. The smell is heady.
Eskel came by while you were resting. Triss is still unconscious, but stable.
That's a relief.
I've made a decision, Wolf. We abandon Kaer Morhen. There's nothing holding us here.
I see.
We need to bid Leo farewell and wait for Triss to recover.
And the bandits?
Yes, we need to finish things. But first we must make a healing potion for Triss. We'll need to search for ingredients. Nothing useful left here.
I can do that. How do I make the potion?
Lambert will give you the formula. Look for him by the fireplace. He's with our brave sorceress.
Lambert? He doesn't hate Triss?
Feels guilty, I think. The first thing Triss'll hear when she wakes is, "Finally awake, Marigold." That's Lambert. Let's get to work. Later I'll teach you how to extract ingredients from monsters. I'll be in the main hall.
Fine.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because it's already running quite a bit long. I did intend to finish the tutorial area, but I had no idea how much longer it's going to be going. So please join us next Wednesday for part 2 of our Witcher Wednesday Let's Play event. This has been KPX Valkyrie. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.